ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षु श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरते य उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, the mind, all the sensory and motor organs and the life force that operates through them become powerful and efficient. All is verily the one without second, ever blissful, ever conscious existence itself, the Brahman. Let me never deny Brahman. May the Brahman never reject me either. May all the virtues needed to experience this truth in life, which have been spoken by the scriptures, be with me. Om, peace, peace, peace. Let us meditate on this oneness of existence. Imagine there is a huge pile of ice cubes kept in the hall. I identify myself with one ice cube. I tell myself, this is your size, your shape, your weight. This is what I see I am. Think of all ice cubes as separate and distant from me, distinct from me. Some I associate with as my parents, some as my siblings, some as my spouse, some as my offsprings, many as my friends and colleagues, many others as my competitors and enemies, and many ice cubes are not related to me. I don't think of them. But I am different. I have my individuality which is different from every other ice cube. Be that be my spouse or my children or any other. I am unique. But soon I see these ice cubes are melting, losing their shapes. I also see my shape has undergone change. My weight has undergone change. What am I? And what are all the other ice cubes? Soon I see my separate individuality has completely melted, gone. All other ice cubes, they also have melted. I see the truth of oneness. And I see actually even before melting, essentially we were all same. Everything was the same, one, unborn, ever-present existence itself. I see I have no desires, for I am all that is. Thus there is no obstacle to the inner bliss and peace. I am bliss itself. I am immortal, never born, never going to die. I am love itself. Om. Peace, peace, peace. So, dear friends, let us begin our discussion on this great scripture, Srimad Bhagavatam, which presents all the great truths of Vedanta in the form of interesting, charming stories. When given through stories, the truths become easily acceptable. Like the bitter medicine pill, when given coated with sugar, then it goes down easily. So, the great truths of Vedanta, although they are great, many times they are not palatable. Truth is not always palatable. Usually it is not. But how then to get that truth in us? Okay, let it be told through nice, enchanting, charming stories. And then gradually it gets in. So, this is the nature of this kind of scriptures called Puranas. There are in these Hindu or Vedantic scriptural these levels, there is the highest one is called Upanishads, and sometimes Bhagavad Gita also gets clubbed with that. Then there is the two other types which are called Smritis and Puranas. Smritis give us the rules of conduct. Uh, and the Puranas tell these very truths through many stories. Now it is important to grab the truth and not just the stories. The stories are for creating the interest, and thus we can take it in. But one must remember that these stories and then the descriptions in the books called Smritis, where they are given as laws, they are full of lot of eulogies, some interesting accounts, uh, but they are just for make us get the essential truth inside. So that is why it is given. So we have discussed this point a few times. So not much needed to continue that discussion today. Let us begin today's class with our usual chant. जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं Satyam param dhimahi. That from whom creation, sustenance, and dissolution of the universe take place, who is both the instrumental and material cause of it, who is omniscient, is the only one having self-mastery, being the one independent entity, who illumined the mind of Brahma with the Vedic revelation, whose wisdom is the wonder of even the greatest sages, in whom the world of the three gunas subsists, just as the combination of materials like fire, water, and earth subsist in their causes without changing their elemental nature, in whose consciousness there is nothing false. On that truth supreme we meditate. We have been seeing for last some classes the wonderful story of God appearing as a fish, God incarnating as fish. Incarnating means although beyond the bodies, beyond birth and death, yet God assumes a form, a body. And normally we see that human bodies are assumed by God. They are called the incarnations for the teaching of humanity. But also it is important to note that God is in everyone, every creature, whether a human or other, everything is really an expression of God, and so God can incarnate in any animal form also. Also, this idea of God incarnating progressively from fish, then turtle, it teaches the ancient Indian idea of evolution of species. Like it is said that first there were all the aquatic creatures, then came the semi-aquatic. So fish was the first one, then the second was that which can be on water as well as outside water, a tortoise, a turtle. Then there was a big boar, the God incarnating as boar. Then God incarnating as half man, an evolution, that half lion, half man. Then there is the God incarnating as uh, a small human being with great powers, Vamana. Then there is the other incarnations like Parshurama, Rama, Krishna, and so forth. So, this is the story of how God appears as everything. It is all appearance of God. That is the only reality. All others are appearances. Means God assumes these forms. So, the reality in every form is really God. Just as the reality in the movie, whether you see in the movie a lion or a crocodile or a human being or say a tree or whatever other things, all are the screen appearing as those things. The reality in all these, whether you are seeing lion, what is there actually? Screen is there. And the same screen is there even when you see a very nice looking lady or a nice looking guy or a mountain, whatever. So that screen has taken all these forms. They come and go. What remains is this screen. So that is the idea that we must never forget. Hold on to this, that these appearances come and go. And the principle is to hold on to the divine and try to experience that divine. So that is why these stories are told. And we were seeing this incarnation of fish, that how the king who decided to perform austerities and was therefore gave up the kingdom and was sitting performing his various rites and austerities at the bank of a river, caught a fish. Caught means just came as he was pouring his oblations, taking up water. That's a form, you know. You take the water and pour that water again in the river. That is a form of oblation. That yes, a worship is performed like that, and that you pick up that water from the river, chant a suitable mantra, and pour it back there as an offering. So, as he was doing it, he saw there was a tiny fish in that water that he got in his palm pit. So he said, "Oh, what is this?" So he let that fish again back into water. As he was going to do that, the fish started talking. Oh, no, no, please protect me. All the other creatures there, they will eat me up. Take me to your home. So the sage took that little tiny fish and kept it in a pot at his that hut, and then sees next day the fish has become too big for that pot, so put it in a big tub. Next day fish grows up bigger than that, so puts it in a pond, then in a big lake. Every day the fish was occupying whatever you put it in. This is the great idea of what is called the embodied being. What is the being? That being occupies the whole body. Like if I ask that Ashutosh sitting there, where are you? He will say, point out here, but that doesn't mean he is only there. His whole body, that body is a receptacle, as it were, in which this consciousness is permeated, the I consciousness. I am this. So that is the fish pervading every part. Try to visualize this, that every body is pervaded. I remember an incident that in our that one dispensary, charitable dispensary we were running. It still is running, but I was given to work there. So my job was to give the medicine. The doctors would write prescription, and then I would give the medicine. I had other work also there, but this was a part of it. So I would read that and call that person. Uh, there was one little girl. I read out the name, Rekha. Who is Rekha? That girl came forward. I am Rekha. Oh, you are this? I pointed out to this nose. Is this Rekha? I pointed out to her eye. Is that Rekha? Is that Rekha? Her hair, her head. Which of these is Rekha? And now that little girl, but even a grown-up person will get confused. Which I am and which I am not. It is. So I am everywhere, filling the whole space as it were. That I assume that form. Wherever I am put, I become that. This body. So if it is put in a big lake, like that fish was put, it occupies the whole lake. Then, as the sage was going to put it in the ocean, finally, where can you find a bigger thing? The fish said that, oh, no, no, those big creatures will eat me. Oh, you have become so big. Now, where are the big creatures to eat you? But the sage realized that this is how this is not a fish, this is God in the form of fish. And then God told him that, you see, now from seventh day from now 7 days there will be a big deluge covering the whole earth. So you make a nice big boat and put the seeds of every plant and a couple of every creature, and then as you start that boat will come to you. That boat you won't have to make like in the Christian biblical story. Christian or Jewish both have that same more or less similar story, that Noah was told to build the ark. There's a lot of similarities in that story. Noah was told to build the ark. Here, the sage was not told to build the boat. Was told the boat will come to you, and you put everything into that, and then start taking the boat, rowing the boat. When the things become too stormy, too difficult, then I will appear there as a big fish. Tie that boat to my this antenna, and thus I will take you there. So this is how this, as per instructions, Satyavrata tied the ship to the fish god, using the most powerful snake Vasuki, and started chanting the praise of the Lord. As this was being done, the fish god, there is a huge fish. So the ship is also huge. And imagine, every species, its couple has been put there, and so must be a huge ship. Now it is anchored through the mythological snake Vasuki. So it is considered to be bearing the load of the earth, all that, so many great things. So it is also called sometimes Sheshnag, or Vasuki is also considered a heavenly snake. So it is, this Vasuki was used as rope. And then I had mentioned last time that this Vasuki's name comes also in the story of the churning of the ocean, where the snake was used as a rope uh, to, churn the ocean. A churning rod was tied, and we have seen that how the churning of the ocean happened. So now this, and the Lord started, the Satyavrata started praying to the fish god, to which their ship was anchored. So it is, we shall read this prayer, a very interesting and illuminating prayer. The men whose knowledge of the self has been effaced by the beginningless nations, and who, as a consequence, are subject to intense suffering in samsara, sometimes surrender themselves to Thee by Thy grace alone, and thereby attain to Thee. May Thou, uh, that granter of liberation, be our teacher. This is the first hymn in this prayer. That this not knowing who am I, we consider this little piece. That is what we were meditating on, this ice cube. I am this ice cube. So we think I am this body, this heap of flesh, blood, and so forth. How can I be that? But that is how the ignorance affects us. I am this body. And then what happens? Since it is wrong, it is false, it starts torturing us. It becomes a great suffering in this world. Therefore, everybody suffers because of what? I and mine. I am this body. Although we see that it is changing, and yet we do not yet have any doubt as to that it is I. So deep is this ignorance that even after analyzing and knowing, we still don't accept this truth. And that is how so powerfully we get attached and don't want to leave it. Imagine, you have, say, held uh, a red hot that iron pan, and now what a nice sensation your hand will be getting, isn't it? Uh, but then when you see that it is hot, you drop it. But this, you do not drop it. The problem is dropping is appears to be so difficult. Why? Because then I will lose this pot. Here I am burning. And the only way to get relief is to leave the pot there. But why do I not let it go, Charlie? Huh? Addicted to it. I feel that if this pot will then be gone, such a nice pot. It will be all gone, this world, so nice. I have my wonderful spouse. Sometimes, there are problems because of that, but still, you don't want to leave, as Sri Ramakrishna used to say, that look, nobody's wife is bad. Everybody says they the problem, but my wife is good. It is, even though the problems are there, even though the suffering is there, we that hot pot, we are not ready to leave. Oh no, my children, my all this. See, I spent $1 million to buy this wonderful home just last year. Should I? You mean it is? I have to give it up? Should I leave it? That is, put the pan down if you do not want to suffer. Is there any other alternative? Tell me. Just think about it. We are all thinking people. What alternative is there? Drop it. And actually, you won't lose anything. It is that your that false I-ness will go away, and you will then have the full peace, comfort, and bliss. So this is how the only solution is. But this ignorance, oh God, that I do not see my true nature because of you have covered it with niches, or what is called in Vedanta as Maya, something undefinable, unknown. So please take it away. That is the prayer that so bound by the impressions of this past karma, the ignorant person continues to perform work with the idea of gaining more and more enjoyments. Mm. See, nobody works to get misery. Eh, what, Marcella, you think you work so that you will get more misery? It is not possible. Nobody works like that with this idea, oh, let me do this so that I will be more miserable. No. Everybody wants this all to goes on doing the work, thinking that by doing this, their happiness will enhance. And thus, you do all this work, actions, karma, keep on working hard. And although we work to get more happiness, the end result is very different. You may want happiness, but what you get is opposite of that. We get suffering. That is the only way we keep on accumulating more and more suffering, more and more bondages. Keep on worrying that, oh, what will happen to my so and so? Where will my daughter go if I give up everything? No, we keep on holding on to this hot pan, thinking that later on I will give up. Let my daughter get married, and then I will be free, and then I will drop it down. No, then something else will come. It is an unending thing unless we determine to, to drop it. This is, therefore, it comes with the grace of God, that God make us get rid of this. It is uh, this self-centeredness, the canker within, can be overcome only through the service of Thee, the world teacher. May He be pleased to destroy in us that knot of heart, namely the identification of the Atman with the body. And it is this identification that destroy this knot of identification of Atman and matter. The matter is changing. Atman, the self, is not changing. How can the two be tied together? You cannot tie them together. It is because one is to move, the other is not to move. So it creates such a problem. It is. So we have to see this, friends, that how can that I be the body? There is no possibility. This is a great idea that you learn in Vedanta. It is called the knot between the conscious and the material. Chit Jada Granthi. So break this. I am not anything in the matter, as that great hymn of Shankaracharya says, that Mano buddhi ahankara chittani naham na cha shrotra jivhe na cha grana netre. I am neither the mind nor the intellect nor the memory. I am none of these. I am not the body. I am free from all these. I am not the sensory or motor organs. I am Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I am the consciousness itself, bliss itself. I am existence itself. This is to be asserted. So this knot is to be cut asunder mercilessly. No, it looks so nice, isn't it? No, do not think like that. Whatever we get attached to, that starts looking nice. And that is the problem. It is. Whatever I don't want to give up, then I say how nice it is. Uh, Actually, that is how the niceness comes. So it is. There is this story in Arabian Nights about that Laila and Majnu. Hmm. Laila and Majnu. Anybody has read that story? Hmm? No. Tilakji, you also didn't read it? Yeah, so Laila and Majnu. That girl's name was Laila and the one her lover was Majnu. So that Laila was not very good to look at. Kind of, others would used to think of her as an ugly girl. But this Majnu was headlong into love for her, my dear Laila. So his friends would say, why you are after this girl? Give it up, hey? And he would say, you don't understand how beautiful she is. You have to look at her through my eyes. So that is what we look at so many things through our eyes of attachment. And then that becomes so nice, so beautiful, so full of heavenly virtues. We don't want to get rid of it. This is all tying the chit jada, that consciousness and matter as it were is tied, and that creates this so much suffering for us, and yet we do not give it up. This is something that we must look into. And as this prayer still continues, I take refuge in Thee, the Supreme Being, whose abounding grace bestows on devotees is of such potency that even an influential fraction of it, even an infinitesimal fraction of it, uh, cannot be matched by the combined help that may be offered by all the deities, teachers, and other competent persons put together. That is how the God's power is real power, true. Others are all reflections, appearances. You tell me that a glass of water, you are thirsty, and then a glass of water you want to drink. Throat is getting parched. I need a glass of water. And somebody says, oh, why just a glass of water? There is a huge expanse that you don't see. It is mirage. A mirage. How much water, how many bucketfuls of water of mirage can equal a glass of true water? There is no comparison. It is so. All the other help in the world, what is it? It is mirage. The assistance that God provides even infinitesimal of it, it is real. Nothing else is really going to help us. And this king, as who is a sage also, says all that ignorant people accepting their other ignorant people as guru is like one blind man taking another blind man to guide. It is desirous of attaining our spiritual goal, we have adopted as our Guru thyself. See, Sri Ramakrishna always therefore would insist that God alone is the Guru. Who can be Guru? What? Raji? Who can be Guru? God alone can be Guru. It is not, human beings have no power to be Guru. That it is, even if from a receptacle, say, suppose you have a, say, in a cup, that some nice coffee is there. Now, what do you drink? Do you drink cup or coffee? Huh? What? Huh? You drink cup, not the coffee. No, you have to you drink only coffee. Cup is kept outside. So that even when you get that uh, teachings from a person, that person is what? Just like a cup. Mm. That person is never a guru except as a cup. What you get is from the God. So this is to be remembered. Otherwise, there is some a very funny kind of uh, attachment to some human being as guru. It is true that to sip the coffee, you need a holder of that coffee. A cup is necessary for that, and then you can say that this is my cup, okay, but you don't get anything from the cup as such. It is the coffee. So it is very important to note that Sri Ramakrishna again and again warns, therefore, that no human being can ever be the guru. So uh, thou art the friend of all the worlds, their well-wisher, their dear Lord, their soul, and the granter of their prayers. Yet the blind worlds, full of worldly desires, do not know thee, who art residing in their very heart. This is another great teaching which is very much emphasized in Vedanta. Mm. Once I was giving a short talk on Bhagavad Gita at our Brown chaplains meeting. So a lot of them were there, about small group, but about 30-35 people were there, all that religious teachers of some type or other. One of them was a Catholic priest, very nice. I just happened to meet him about a month ago, and he was at that time at Brown as a chaplain there. Now he retired, but at that time, after my Bhagavad Gita class, he asked, Swami, you were again and again telling that God within, the indwelling God. In Christianity, we don't emphasize that. I said, is it there? Is it not there? That Jesus says that the kingdom of heaven is within you. He accepted, yes, it is there, but we don't emphasize that. We say God in heaven. What impression it gives is far away. It is, and thus not for us, far away. Not for us. It is, if say we have in this kind of saying in our language, that suppose somebody is sick, uh, and then goes to doctor, say, Tilak ji, this fellow is sick, what medicine Tilak ji prescribes? This medicine will be very good. Where is it available? No, you have to get it from Mars. Now what it means is not for us. Ah, it is not that he doesn't do that. I am just joking that it is in Mars, so it means not. So saying that the God is somewhere in the heaven somewhere, who knows where is it? And that is why the question comes, does God exist or not? Who has seen that God? Who has gone to the heaven to see, has anybody gone to heaven and come and told, hey, I saw that God in the heaven. Just I met him, had dinner with him. Nobody. Yes, it is. There is that nice story I tell many times, that it is a little girl was being, shown love by an aunt. Oh, oh, my dear Julie, you look so nice. I love you so much. That Julie, 5 year old or so, says that, "Oh, that yes, auntie, I also love you." Really? Yes, I love you too. Then, will you cry if I die? The Julie says, yes, yes, auntie, I will cry when you die. Show me how you will cry. And this little girl says, die first. Otherwise, how will I be able to show? Die first. So it is that God, to see that God means what? Hmm. I have to die. Who is there to die? But our Swami Ranganathananji he writes in his books also that it is not a post-mortem God that Vedanta is bringing to you. It is right now and here. Here and now is your very self, the I that you are feeling. Investigate that. That is the divine. That is where you can feel the presence. So Sri Ramakrishna used to say, God there somewhere, ignorance. Shekhane, shekhane, ignorance. Ekhane, right here, that is knowledge. God is in me. And that is also very important for actual spiritual practice. God is in me. Then you feel confident. Yes, I will be able to realize it because it is right in me. Just investigate. That is the very tangible presence of God. And therefore, in when this question comes about does God exist, uh, Vedanta has no problem with it. If you exist, then God exists. That is what you call your existence is God's existence. It is God is the existence itself. So actually there is a very nice book that Sarvapriyanandaji quotes from, that it is about replying the atheist. That book has been written, and so it is written by a Catholic theologist. And then uh, he has titled that book as Satchidananda existence. He says that within the domain of Christian theology, you cannot answer these atheist questions. These scientific atheists, they pose these questions, and then you do not have any reply to be given to them, because your God somewhere in the heaven, and now where is the proof for that God? Is there a proof? No proof can be given as such. So, therefore, you have to come to this Vedanta conclusions, how Vedanta defines God, and he has shown nicely how actually even Christianity, that is acceptable. God, who is existence itself, consciousness itself, bliss itself, Satchidananda. That's a very nice that presentation in that thesis. So this is then that Satyavrata. It is after this prayer is done. It is uh, they that boat, as it were, is gone, the population is re-established, that it is, and they all that is now redone, as it were. Sometimes things become so corrupt, so bad, that it is good to dissolve everything, throw away everything, and start building anew. So instead of doing the patchwork, so this is the meaning of what is called the dissolution. And now this Satyavrata was made the ruler, as it were, the Manu of that. And here we end the chapter 8. The chapter 8 began, the chapter 8 we had in total 24 classes on that, right from the last one in November till this will be the last class before we have this summer break. Sunday will be our last program of regular program of this session, and then after that we will have summer break, although there will be so many special wonderful programs during this summer, but the regular programs will end in summer. So uh, what we studied in this 8th chapter, so many beautiful stories. It began with the story of the ego elephant released from the grip of a dual throng of crocodile. Mm, it is a very beautiful story. And the Lord, this ego, when caught like that, then starts praying. We also pray only when there is suffering, then the prayer comes. And what is this crocodile? Those two horrible jaws. We are caught into that, likes and dislikes. All contradictions we are caught into. So, how to get release? That is very beautifully described here, that it is the story of Gajendra Moksha in Sanskrit, that liberation of this ego elephant. So, then many classes we had on the churning of the ocean. Very nice descriptions. This is the story of, say, Karma Yoga, yoga of action. That okay, you will have to do lot of big work, churning of the ocean. Very interesting story. We had many classes on that. And then we had also the story of Bali, Vamana, Bali. So, and then the last was this fish, God as fish incarnation. From next class, which would be, if everything goes as per plans, then that will be on September 19th. Friday, September 19th will be the next Bhagavatam class. So we shall conclude. It is today this class now, after reciting this mantra. After that, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. निगमकल्पतरुर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. O devotees, quaff, quaff to intoxication this nectar of the fruit of the tree of Vedas, flowing from the mouth of the great sage Shuka and mixed with the ambrosia from his words. Any questions? Yes, Charlie?
I find it a little confusing that we serve God and others, but others are not real. So how can we serve God and people who are not real?
People are not real, but as God they are real. As people they are not real, but when you see God in them, that becomes real. So that is why it should be God like that, in that form. That is the reality. Through that form, you serve God. So that is the idea there. So the form is to be taken as appearance only. The God is the reality there. So service to God in those forms means you see God that is real, that is there, and serve that through this form. The form gives you an opportunity to serve. Otherwise, what will you be serving? So, and therefore, when this I disappears, then there is no service of that type that you have to imagine God in something remains. That is all gone when you see that I am not there, the forms are not there, God alone is reality. Then that idea of serving something else also vanishes. Any other question? Any question upstairs? No. Okay. So we shall conclude now with the closing prayers. One sad news that a long-standing, wonderful devotee and volunteer here. You must have seen many of you who have come here many times and had got the opportunity to see that wonderful soul, so sincere and so devoted, Naomi Walden. She breathed her last in the morning today at 10:55 a.m. She breathed her last. So our prayers for her. So it is. Let us now chant the last prayer or song. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल. Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Krishna Krishna Bol, Krishna Krishna Bol, Krishna Krishna Bol, Krishna Krishna Bol. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल.